Hi guys, today I am making buffalo chicken dip because tonight starts the basketball games of the Elite Eight, which is very exciting, and buffalo chicken dip is a great sporting food. The ingredients for buffalo chicken dip are shredded chicken, ranch dressing, cream cheese, shredded cheese, which I chose a mild cheddar, but any type of shredded cheese is fine. Pick your favorite. You can even use blue cheese if you would like. And Frank's Red Hot Buffalo Wing Sauce. So the meat I'm cooking today is boneless, skinless chicken breast fillets. What I'm going to do is open up the package, take out the meat, slice it into smaller pieces, and then boil it until it becomes easier to shred. This chicken is 1.32 pounds, and the price was $5.59 per pound for a total of $7.38. So right now I'm going to go ahead and slice open the package. Rip it open. Now before I did this, I of course made sure to wash my hands with warm water and soap for at least 30 seconds to make sure that I'm not going to be the one to contaminate the meat. It is very important that you use very safe handling when you're handling raw meat, especially raw chicken, because we all know that chicken can be filled with pathogens. Now this is probably going to be a little bit more chicken than I actually need to cook, but it's always better to have more than less. So those are the two halves of the chicken breast. And I'm just going to go ahead and turn them lengthwise to slice them in half. And this will just make it easier and faster to cook the meat all the way through by boiling. And it'll also make it easier to shred when the time comes. Now after I handle the raw chicken, I'm going to make sure to wash my hands again with warm water and soap very well to ensure that I don't cross-contaminate any of the other ingredients, including the cheese. Make sure I get a nice clean cut through here. All right. Rip off this excess fat. Alright, so now the chicken is ready to go in the pot. So really quickly, I just wanted to review how the chicken was packaged when I purchased it. It has a styrofoam base that the chicken was laying in with this, which was used to keep the meat nice and fresh. And then it had this saran wrap wrapped over it. This is a great way to package the chicken. I'm pretty sure Publix is the one that packaged it because of the labeling that was done on it. When I went to purchase the meat in the store, it was laying in a refrigerated container. So the temperature was probably around 33, 34 degrees Fahrenheit, which is perfect for keeping chicken from growing any bad pathogens. After purchasing the meat, I drove it straight home and put it straight into the refrigerator here, which I left a thermometer in, and our refrigerator is 30 degrees Fahrenheit, so I know the meat was nice and cold and had no risk of growing any pathogens on it. It was probably in our fridge for about 5 hours before I pulled it out to start preparing it. So as you guys can see, the water is just starting to boil, so I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken. To do this, I'm going to use tongs just to limit the chicken's exposure to me and mine to the chicken, since it is raw. Chicken is very slippery. Now I'm going to try to arrange the pieces so that they are spread out and not one right next to each other, because that way they will have a better chance of cooking all the way through and faster. Now if you take a look into the pot, as you can see, the second the chicken touches the hot water, it starts to get that white coating on the outside. Show that it is cooking. It looks a little papery. But that's the color that I want. I want the chicken to be white. And once it's completely white all the way through, it'll be really easy to pull apart into the thin strips that I need to make the dip. So while I'm waiting for my chicken to boil, I'm going to go ahead and mix the rest of the ingredients for the buffalo chicken dip, which include 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, half a cup of my shredded cheddar, half a cup of the ranch dressing, and half a cup of the Red Hot Wings buffalo chicken sauce. So I'm just going to go ahead and... Now it's very important that the cream cheese is softened, and this one was, because otherwise you won't be able to mix it. Now after handling the raw chicken, I made sure to wash my hands again, so that way I would not get any of whatever was on the raw chicken onto these other ingredients. Just want to make sure that is a level half cup. Okay. Right, and then I'm going to rinse this before putting the ranch in. Okay, so my chicken has now been boiling for 16 minutes. So I'm going to check the temperature to make sure it's cooked all the way through. Different meats vary with how high the temperature needs to be to make sure that you've killed off all pathogens. For chicken, the best temperature is about 165 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm checking mine now. And my chicken is actually at about 170, so I might have overcooked it just a little bit, but that is okay. So now that the chicken's done cooking, I'm going to take each piece out individually. After putting the chicken in with the tongs, I made sure to wash the tongs with warm water and soap so as not to contaminate the cooked chicken with the raw chicken. And I also replaced my mat that I'm using to put the chicken on, again, to make sure that I do not contaminate the cooked chicken with the raw chicken. Now I'm going to wait for the meat to cool down just a little because I do not want to burn my fingers while I'm trying to shred it. And I need about 2 cups of shredded chicken for this recipe, which will serve 4 people. So like I said at the beginning, I probably made a little bit too much, but like I said, better safe than sorry. Alright, so I'm just going to let the meat cool, finish stirring up my ingredients, and then I'll shred. So as you can see, I have begun shredding the meat. Now, it doesn't have to be in perfect little slices. Some of it can be in chunks. That piece was hot. Now, when I started off on the edge of the meat, it was cooler, but now that I'm getting towards the center of this piece, it's becoming hotter. And that's because the chicken will cool from the outside in, as you can probably guess. Now, I will continue shredding, and as soon as I'm done, I will take all the shredded chicken, or at least the 2 cups that I need for the recipe, and put it in the bowl with my other ingredients and mix it all up. And then I will put it in this glass pan and stick it in the oven and bake it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes. So I have finished shredding the chicken and I measured it out, and this is 2 cups, so like I guessed, I have some extra. But we can just slice that up and use it for sandwiches. So I'm going to go ahead and add the shredded chicken into the mix. Okay, I'm dropping it everywhere. So, since I did say I have some chicken left over, I am going to store it and save it for later, maybe to make a sandwich tomorrow. So, I'm going to put the pieces in this container, nice and neat. Now, it is completely cooked, but obviously to keep food spoilage bacteria from growing on it, it needs to be refrigerated. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the refrigerator. Hey, so my little sister decided to join me as my personal assistant for the last little bit of making this dish. This is Abby, everybody. Hi. So what Abby's gonna help me do is scoop the uncooked dip from the bowl into the baking pan, and then we're gonna put it in the oven. Ready?
Yeah.
Alright, so go ahead and grab your spoon. Start scooping. And try and get it so that it's evenly spread out.
Okay.
Try and get all that stuff. Yeah. Alright, that looks good to me. Alright, and then now spread it out. That looks good. Get a little bit more over there.
Okay.
Very good. Alright, so now you can put the spoon in the sink. Now it is ready to go in the oven. The oven was preheated to 350 degrees, and I'm going to put it in for about 20 minutes. As you can hear, the oven is beeping. We are ready to pull the buffalo dip out of the oven. And that looks good and done. As you can see, it's developed kind of a coating on the outside, and that's perfect. That's what we want. I'm going to let it cool for just a couple minutes, and then I'm going to serve it up. So as you can see, the dip is all served up, and as the finishing touch, I'm just going to, with my assistant's help, sprinkle a little bit of shredded cheese on top of each bowl. Now you don't have to do this, but I personally like a little bit extra cheese on my dip. To serve with the dip, you can do what I chose, which is the Frito Scoops corn chips. Any other type of corn chip works great, or I've even used it with naan bread, toast. This dip goes great on anything. It is even good just to eat by itself. Just a quick recap of how it was prepared. First, I boiled the chicken, made sure that the chicken's internal temperature was at 165 degrees at least. Mine ended up being about 170, which means it was slightly overcooked, but better safe than sorry, to make sure that we kill all of those pathogens. Also, when I was handling the raw chicken, I made sure to wash my hands. In total, I think I washed my hands about 10 times in preparing this dish, just to be absolutely positive that there was no cross-contamination between the uncooked meat, which could have had any number of pathogens on it, and the rest of the ingredients that were already ready. This meal is a great game day food. Super Bowl, basketball tournaments, March Madness. It's great for everything, and it tastes delicious. So, thank you.